This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. Today we have a very special show for you. We're looking back on some of our biggest adventures over the years. And one of our most popular ongoing segments here is True Crime Chronicles, where we look into crime stories from all over the country. Al, can you guess which one has been my favorite?
I bet it was the one where we got the inside scoop when the guy came and talked to us about the Supermax.
It's exactly right. It was incredible getting to see what life is like at the Colorado prison that houses some of America's most infamous criminals.
This was fascinating.
It really was. Check it out.
Lingering in the shadows of Colorado's Rocky Mountains lies the country's only federal Supermax prison. ADX Florence is closed off to the rest of the world. On the outside, armed security guards, gun towers, and cameras. On the inside, pure isolation. Inmates spend an average of 23 hours a day in a 7 by 12-foot concrete cell with a bed, desk, toilet, sink, and shower. Meals are slid through a small hole in the door. The only glimpse of the outside world is a tiny window. This prison was specifically designed to keep every inmate in solitary confinement. No one has escaped since it opened in 1994. The Supermax incarcerates criminals deemed too dangerous for the average prison, like the notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who was transferred in July after escaping 2 prisons in Mexico. Boston Marathon bomber Johar Tsarnaev, Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, and Oklahoma City bomber Terry Nichols are also incarcerated here. Of the 400 inmates, 1 was considered the most dangerous. Terrible Tommy Silverstein. He killed 3 inmates and a prison guard in jail before being transferred to the Supermax. Tommy spent more than 3 decades in solitary confinement before dying this year. The few who have been inside and made it out call the Supermax life after death. Others say it's a clean version of hell.
Wow. We are joined now by Alan Prendergast, a senior reporter at Westward Magazine in Denver. Thank you for joining us. I can't imagine even stepping foot in that facility. Now, you've spent the past 30 years writing on high security prisons and historic crimes, and you were also one of the last reporters allowed at this Supermax prison. So everyone wants to know, what was it like inside? What's a typical day like? Please tell us.
It's a very disorienting experience. You go through a maze of locks, doors, sally ports, surveillance. The staff are in these control rooms with these panels of lights, sort of like the Starship Enterprise. Wow. And they're controlling remotely what's going on and intensely monitoring what is happening with the inmates, who are mostly just in their cells.
They never interact, ever. Would
Very
Ted Kaczynski interact with El Chapo ever?
The only way that would probably happen is during a recreation period, if they were both in different cages on the yard.
Near each other.
But most of the real high-profile ones tend to be even more isolated, so that they may not be allowed on the yard. Someone like Silverstein wouldn't have been allowed on the yard with other inmates. He would have been alone doing that. So,
chilling.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, you've written a lot about isolation cells, and actually read an article that said that because they've been in there for 23 hours a day, they start to see things. And you've, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You said that it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Torture. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this would kind of violate our United States anti-torture laws because of like what they're being subjected to, even though there are despicable people?
Right. Well, there is a serious issue there. International rights organizations do consider that degree of isolation to be torture. I mean, it is debilitating. We have studies that show people that are isolated like that, they become very sensitive to noise and light. They sometimes become paranoid. They do hallucinate. hallucinate sometimes. If they already have some mental illness, and a lot of inmates do, it can be exacerbated by that. There are instances of suicide, mutilation, things like that. And yes, it's a problem because on one hand, we do want to keep these people isolated because they are extremely dangerous, some of them. But at what point does that become not a good thing? I mean, at state level, a lot of prisons are rethinking solitary because if these people are going to get out someday, they've been very damaged by this. And some people in ADX, the Supermax, do get released at some point down the line. So you have to think about that in terms of public safety as well as whether you're being humane.
We just learned about terrible Tommy Silverstein, which a lot of people might not know about, and you wrote back and forth with him. You never interviewed him in person. Did he ever have any regrets at the end of his life? He just passed away this past year, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He was actually a very interesting guy. I mean, he's one of the reasons ADX was built, because these murders took place at another high security prison, but the security wasn't adequate enough to keep him further isolated. He particularly regretted he murdered a correctional officer at that prison. And over the years, he did really have, you know, I think a change of heart about some of the things that he did when he was an Aryan Brotherhood leader and thought was following the convict code about these things. But yes, he was
back and forth with him.
Oh yes, no, we corresponded for years. He was a very thoughtful guy. I mean, he had done a lot of thinking and a lot of contemplation over the years. He was probably the most isolated prisoner in America for much of his career. And you know, if you want to talk about torture, he was certainly in position to do that, but he didn't seem to lose his marbles when he was in there.
Unbelievable.
I just have a quick thing,
please,
because we interview some of these people and kind of give them a voice, I'd rather give someone like that a voice to say, I was president of the Aryan Brotherhood. It's not worth going down this path. I have regrets. My life's almost coming to an end. I'd rather have those type of things get out there than, why did you do this? And let me get into your mind a little bit more and almost push them up.
You want people to learn from
I'd rather you get those letters that he wrote to you at the end of his life out there.
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing. I mean, there are all kinds of people in these places, and some of them are, you know, by any social standards, really bad people. But I think you can learn a lot from people who have been through some of these experiences. Sometimes they've had an opportunity to look at a side of life that most of us just don't experience.
Wow, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here. You can read Alan's reporting on high-profile crimes and prisons at westword.com.
I know it's like a macabre thing to talk about, but I love learning about, like, inside that stuff and El Chapo and all these things.
Well, it's an inside look at a world that you would never know unless something really terrible happened. So it is fascinating. I mean, he really just kind of laid out what life is like on a day-to-day basis and who's there.
I mean, anyone who's
it's terrible. A who's who of the infamous.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy spot. Well, coming up on DBL, we go right down the road to Denver International Airport to learn all about the conspiracy theories that there could be a city under the airport. Plus, Brandon.
That was good.
Thank you. I took a breath for that. Brandon tackles his fear of horseback riding. I remember this, but does he get stuck in the saddle? Find out when we come back.
Closed captioning provided by
DBL Nation, I'm Lindsay Granger. I'm a trained journalist. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I learned to extensively research. I've written a documentary. I describe myself as the host that will bring a fresh perspective to the panel. I think Tori and I might disagree.
Not a nice thing for the president to say.
Everyone's blowing out of proportion, but that's okay, because today we need that. DBL is a creative, fun, and fast-paced type of show. Who wouldn't want to be at DBL? I'm looking forward to joining the panel and getting into some fun, interesting, and intense conversations. But it's important today. We need to agree to disagree and have the dialogue. A lot of people watch TV and say, how am I represented? DBL is the answer to that question. I'm Lindsay Granger, and I hope to be your voice.
Welcome back to DBL. Al, being here in Denver, we hear a lot of weird things about the airport.
Yes, we do. People are obsessed with conspiracy theories at Denver International. So don't worry. We got to the bottom of it. We sent Jeff.
He was expendable.
And he was going to figure it out. So enjoy.
What's up, guys? Today we're at Denver International Airport, one of the top 5 busiest airports in the nation. Now, if you guys know me, you know airports are not my favorite places. This is gonna be a long segment, so don't wrap it up still. Don't nickel and dime me $25 for this bag. Okay, cool, now I wanna pick my seat. Now I have to pay $70 to pick a seat? So long later, friendly skies, because there's no such thing. But today we're doing something very cool. A lot of conspiracy theories surround this very airport, whether it's hidden bunkers underneath here, alien life forms, possessed horses. There's a lot that goes on here, and today we're gonna try to debunk some of those theories, or maybe believe in them more. Let's go check it out.
So we are at our time capsule,
Okay.
Which was buried in 1994, and so we won't be able to find out what's inside until 2094.
There's a lot of conspiracies that involve this. One so being this logo right here and right here, the Freemason logo. Why is a Freemason logo on a time capsule?
So there are 2 large charitable organizations, which are the Masonic lodges here in Colorado, and they helped us build this, and they helped us bring it here. So this is a tribute to them.
So there's nothing that involves the Illuminati inside the time capsule?
Well, I don't know. You might have to wait until 2094 to find out.
I have a lot of other questions about your airport.
I'm ready to address them. And first, the tunnels. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, this way?
Yep.
So this is the basement?
These are the tunnels. You're in it.
All right, Alex, so right now we are in the tunnels. We just got off the elevator.
We're in the belly of the beast.
So at first glance, what's going on down here is people are taking your baggage from the plane to the baggage carousels.
That's right. It's not all that spooky, and it's folks working down here. So we have around 33,000 employees at Denver International Airport. So there could be hundreds to thousands of folks working in the tunnels every day.
Where does the president go when he's here?
There's no bunker for the president. There's no underground getaway. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you that, but these are just really places to get your baggage from the aircraft to the baggage carousel.
Where does that door go? Hey Alex, how do you explain this? This looks like a cry for help. So Alex, tell us a little bit about some of this artwork that we see walking around Denver Airport, because this isn't exactly the last thing you want to see before you get on an airplane.
Mr. Tanguma, the artist, created this piece with a thought in mind that we need to take care of our earth and love one another so we can have a beautiful life, and if we don't, then this may be the consequence. So it's really a piece about how to take care of our world.
Okay, Alex, so we checked out a lot of the conspiracies inside DIA, but now we're at one of the more well-known conspiracy sites. We're on some land that the public can't get to, right?
That's right.
So I'm very excited about this one.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Let's go.
Guys, so if you have ever flown into Denver International Airport, you have definitely seen this Mustang, and we are actually in its undercarriage, a very unique perspective of what's going on. But there's a lot of conspiracies, Alex, that follow this blue Mustang. In fact, around Denver, we call it Blucifer. So the story around Denver goes that a piece of Mustang actually fell on the artist while he was making this, which ultimately led to his death.
So Luis Jimenez was the artist who created Mustang, and his injuries due to constructing Mustang led to his death.
So that's true.
That's true, but we can be thankful to have Mustang with us here today because his kids finished up Mustang, and so that's why you drive by and you see his big, beautiful blue face.
So a silver lining, let's say.
Silver lining.
So there is no evil spirits going on in Mustang, even though they have the scary red eyes.
Definitely not. Those scary red eyes are a tribute to his dad, who owned a neon shop, and we like to think of Mustang as a gateway to the West.
She can say as much as she wants the red eyes aren't scary in their part, and I do get it. It's to the sculptor's father's neon store, but they're terrifying to me.
You're entitled to your opinion on that
scary.
one. I kind of like it, though, because when I see him and I'm driving to the airport late at night, I'm like, I'm close to the airport.
Yeah, that's true, but I will say...
And the airport's super far.
I was going to say, can you be honest, how far is the airport, Al? How far? Far.
I really was like, she's got to be going somewhere with this. And
it's just like every time I think, I'm like, oh, we can't be going this far. It's farther.
It's further.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strange.
Very.
Good job, Tori. Up next on DBL, Brandon is in the saddle as he tackles his fear of horseback riding.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know if he's so comfortable. Don't miss it. Giddy up.
Hey everyone, I'm Sam Shocker. The way I would describe myself as a host of DBL, well, my co-hosts call me like the mom, so I guess I'm kind of like the team mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Sam.
Oh, Mama Bear. Being a working mother is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I have such respect to all mothers out there, and that I love animals. I will advocate for animals till the day I die. The connection that we have built with the viewer, you feel like family, you share things that you are going through with us, and I felt comfortable sharing a really dark time in my life with you. I'm going through it.
I know.
I'm proud that we are inclusive. I'm proud that we have conversations about social injustices. Yes, we always have fun on this show, but at the end of the day, I feel like that we're making a difference. We really do provide a voice for the voiceless, and I'm so grateful for that.
Hey, what's going on, DBL Nation? I'm Brandon London. I told my mom at a young age I wanted to play professional football, and she said, show me. So I worked my tail off. I would describe myself as the host that brings energy to the panel. Are you not entertained? My perspective doesn't really come from a book. It comes from different experiences.
This is that social injustice that Colin Kaepernick took a knee for.
The co-host that makes me most hopeful is hands down my big sister, Erica Cobb. She just makes me better as a person. Not only on camera, but off camera. Don't show her that. DBL is raw, DBL is live, DBL is opinionated, and DBL is what you should be watching.
Welcome back to DBL. Al, did you know that now is a great time to get outside and put your green thumb to work during summer?
Tori, I really didn't. You need to tell me more.
Sherlock, let me tell you. Well, you can reuse old materials like wine bottles and corks to spruce up your space. This is really cute, actually. Jeff shows us how in today's DBL Home Hacks, presented by American Home Shield.
All right, guys, so we're outside. These are just some of my herbs I have around my garden, but it's very simple. Just take this, if you know what rosemary is, which my wife does not. This is gonna be very helpful when I tell her to go to the garden and tell me to get some specific herb. So all you do is put that in there. This one is the basil one. I know I need to work on my plants. And this one is the oregano one. So there you go, easy hack to use in your garden. And this way, if your spouse, whoever it may be, wants to go out and get you some herbs and help out while you're cooking, this is a great way to show them the difference. My second hack I'm gonna show you today was with that empty wine bottle, but you just fill it up with water, put it in there like that, okay? And it'll slowly water your plant throughout time. My third hack, which I'm not gonna waste a beer and open this up, all you do is just take a regular beer in a regular bowl, You pour it in here, and to keep like slugs and bugs away from all your plants and herbs, you just pour this in there, put it next to your herbs, and all the bugs go and have a good time in the beer instead of eating all your plants. So those are my 3 hacks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your garden looks a lot better than mine. Cheers. When it comes to your home, American Home Shield warranty helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out. Call American Home Shield at 1-800-919-3629 to get a free quote today.
All right, first off, do you say herbs or herbs?
I say herbs.
Good, okay.
Yes, how are you supposed to say it?
I think herbs, but I think in, like Steph, like in Brit speak, they say herbs.
Oh, because they always try and, like, anytime, even if it's like for a recipe, they'll be like 25 herbs and spices.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no one's counting. Like, we don't know if it's really 25.
No.
You can't pick out a certain herb in a blend.
And there's always like a pinch, a dash of cilantro, and sometimes I'm like, I guess.
Well, you do the Blue Apron.
Yeah, no, I do HelloFresh.
HelloFresh,
yes.
okay.
And then, no, but you have to cut up the herbs. It comes like a ginger root.
It doesn't count. You got to make it from scratch like you're on the frontier.
I have a real thing.
I don't respect it. I'm sorry. You're getting your food out of a box. It's not IKEA furniture.
Farm.
It's a meal.
But it's from the farm. I'm literally getting farm fresh food that I'm then cooking.
But then you put it in a box and it loses farminess.
So it's the box that is the problem?
I need some like a clear wrap. Sorry.
Here's your food in a wrap bubble. We'll be right back with Brandon's horseback adventure. Giddy up.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by.
I think Beyonce's just okay. Erica's left the show. I'm not worried with the greasy fingers.
She's 63 and go Kathy. She says she's a panther. Go on.
I want it that way.
Yes.
My blackness won't high five.
Week's most dramatic. That's how you get into the weekend.
Congrats,
we'll be back tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll be back Monday. We'll see you then.
I always wash underwear, linen, swimwear, tops and linen. I was trying to think what I watched.
If I was outside this country, just say Europe, I would be fearful of coming to America despite my color, but maybe more so for someone of a different background. Is that true?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think that we really. First, I'm sorry, I was reading comments. What'd you say?
Well, that's perfect because I was talking about.
I don't know if I disagree with something crazy. I was reading comments and you looked right at me. I was like,
someone from a different background anyway.
You could have been like, "Do we need babies?" I'd be like, "I don't know." Good point. Yeah, I'm sorry.
At least you were honest about it. Welcome back to all day.
How did he made it all day? The last segment, and the wheels fall off like a poorly put together project. Like you threw it together the night before.
It's so true, which I did a lot of the time. Remember the time Brandon tried to conquer his fear of horseback riding?
Yeah, not really, Tori, but I'm pretty sure he's still trying to get out of the saddle. Take a look.
So Brandon, nothing has ever actually happened to you on a horse. You've never sat on a horse, you've never been kicked off a horse. There's been no reason for you to be afraid.
I wouldn't say there's no reason. I've only just steered clear of them. You know, I've never really been up to a horse. I think I've only touched a horse twice in my life.
Okay.
But no, I've never got on a horse, or nothing has really happened to me. I don't know about them, so I guess I fear them. This is it.
This is it, Brandon. Hi, I'm Steph.
Hi, Steph. Brandon, London. Nice to meet you.
It's our first time here. Brandon is trying to face his fears around horses, so we need your help.
I'm not scared or anything. I'm just nervous a little bit.
He's scared.
So we're going to get Sadie for Stephanie and Romeo.
Ooh, I like the name.
So you're going to put most of it in your left hand. And then put your right hand about right here so that you can guide her.
Right here?
Yep, and walk right next to her shoulder and down to where Stephanie is.
Come on, buddy. Hey, boy. There you go, boy.
All right, I'm going to open this towards you. And just walk right into the center, please, Brandon.
Yes, ma'am. There we go.
All right, Brendan, that's good. Stephanie is going to be our example for everything that we do today and everything that we learn, okay?
Brandon, just pay attention. See, left foot first, swing over.
Right.
And then you're right. Cool?
Left.
Yeah, can I have it slightly higher?
There goes the moment of truth.
Don't get on yet, don't get on. Oh. And now straighten your arm out.
I usually sit in the back of the wagon.
Do you know how to stop?
On a horse?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't you just say whoa?
No.
In the movies you say whoa.
Well, you say that too sometimes, but there's more to it than that. Your left foot in the stirrup. And then sit down gently.
Just pull up?
Yeah.
What
You're an athlete, you can do it.
Jump.
Yep.
Swing your leg. You've got it.
Nice.
That's brilliant.
Those are too short.
And pull back on the reins, breathe.
I got it.
Not too hard.
Whoa. Whoa. Why does he keep walking?
You hear him? Why does it keep walking?
Yeah, it's going to keep doing it if you keep feeding it. It'll keep moving.
Exactly what it does. And I love Steph. Brilliant. Keep going. Pull back on the reins.
He did good, though.
He did good, and he didn't horse around.
Ooh.
Nothing. Just the awkward silence is my favorite. We do hope that you enjoyed our little trip down memory lane. We will see you later. Be good to each other. Al?
And you be good to me.
You're right.
Okay.
I can't end it right.